Uh, Dear students, today we are going to learn about Mesh, which is a dynamic kind of plugin which comes with Maya 2017 and as well as 19 and 18 also. So in 2018 version we have let's say in 2018 we have inbuilt dynamics, right? So inbuilt dynamics is a very important thing which allows your objects to become a dynamic simulation object. So, but in Maya 17 we do not have the inbuilt dynamics, no inbuilt, right, dynamics. So, but somehow we will be doing a small amount of dynamics in today's lecture. So, let's start this. So we have this mesh menu here, which is the one which allows us to do all kind of effects. It's a very fascinating effects thing. So let's try this. Let's create a small cube over here. So this small cube will be having many variety of works. Let's say, for example, we go to the mesh and let's say if I click on the first one, that's the first one. So I click on this, so you see your object is duplicated multiple times. So what it does, we will be seeing it once we click on the button that will be called mesh editor. So mesh editor is something which gives you the interface. So mesh editor is the one, it is like outliner for us, right? So outliner is very important thing again. So we have this mesh editor. Let's see how it works. So in the first one, as soon as I apply any first one of the mesh, I get something called distribute. Distribute is something, as the name suggests, it will distribute the object in multiple ways. What are the multiple ways here? Once I go to the distribute, I will be seeing this tab that's called mesh one distribute. I can rename in the object also. I can rename the mesh thing. Let's say if I have it's a cube. So now it's a cube distribute. So what are the methods you have for the distribution? I have something called linear. I have something called radial here. As you can see, they are in the circular motion. So I have spherical thing. So you might not be seeing a complete sphere right now, but as we increase the points, we can see it will be forming the different kind of circular formation here. So what it does in the spherical way, we go to the property of spherical. These are linked with the different kind of places. For them, you have the grid. So as soon as you click on the grid, you will be seeing the properties for the grid. So, but I don't know, I don't want to do it right now. So let's say I go to sphere. So I get again spherical. Let's go back to spherical properties. So where we have spherical, is it a spherical? What is the radius you want? I want more radius or small radius for them, and you want them to animation speed also. Let's see, do we have any animation here? No animation. It is just the menu here. Once we apply the dynamics, then it will work. So yeah, it's not working, no issue. So we have the angle, which angle, how much distance it should be covering up, you can see, and we can animate all of these properties together. So let's go to first frame. If you want to animate, click on the set and you can go to maybe 30 frames, and there also you can have this thing and animate it as a set key, right? So set key is here and set key is 0. So you can see you are getting this kind of animation. So for the cool animations, you can use the mesh, at least this kind of mesh. You can see nice formations happening. So that's just one of the method which where the mesh can be used. So I will do not want anything, so I'll say break connection. So now there's no animation here. So that's the one way of formation. Let's go back to the grid, and that's a strength. Strength is very important because it allows you to how much effect you want it to be happening. So leave the strength like this. Let's change it to the grid. So we have the grid. So how many pieces we have, it's automatically it will give you how many pieces you want. That depends on this property. So right now you have 3 in X and 3 in Z, and we don't have anything in Y. If you can, we want, you can have in Y also. So it gives you the grid for the cube kind of thing for the 3 3 and 3 formation. So let's say I want something more. I can have more distance, because if you do not have much distance, they will overlapping to each other. Let's say I have 5 5. So that's how it looks like. Maybe I can have that, can have be 0, depends on your requirement actually. So so what I do generally as a trick, I keep them same, 10 10 and 10 like this. So what you do, you get complete cube formation like this. So let's do something on this. This just the distribute thing. Let's say if I want to move them in up and down direction, something like that. So we can add some all these effects here right now, and you will be getting the list like this also. For example, right now if I want to have some kind of movement in up and down, I can do something like signal. Signaling is what? Signaling is just the moving them zigzag up and down in different directions. So let's click this and add. You can click from this place also, or you can click from this place also as a signal. So same place, same thing only. So now once you have the signal, you can see the formation is various methods. And what it does, it moves also. It gives you the movement like this. So you can make cool effects in this direction. As you can see, they are all moving only in up and down direction. There are no movement in the X and Y. But because we do not have any movement, I will go to the signal, and in the signal, what we have in the signal, we have signal type is 4D noise. You can have the different varieties. You can have the looping noise also, that I can give you a small amount of movement. You can have called fractional between motion. You can have this movement. You can see that. So all these things are moving them together. You can have something called trigonometry also. You see that there's lots of movement is happening. If I reduce the size, if you reduce the number of cubes, you will be seeing much of the output. Let's see that if I keep it like this, you can see what is happening here. So this is the effect which you are getting. So depending on your requirement, you will be getting the effect. So hope you are getting what I'm trying to tell you. So that's how it can be variety of the methods. So that's the one with this trigonometry methods. Trigonometry generally works with the sine and cos principles, because these are the wave principles. So it will help you to different variety of the noise. You can have small steps also. You will be seeing lots of smoother output. Actually, you can see smoothing movement. So hope you are getting this thing. Now we have the noise multiplier in all directions here. I have a strength. You want less strength, you can have them like this. They are moving, but they are not moving very fast. So, and that's the one method. And what else you can do? You can go to again from trigonometry to 4D noise. You are getting the noise effect here. So in case I don't want much of the movements here, I can go to again the distribute, and I want only the Y, only the X and Z. I don't want anything in the height, so I'll say 0. So you see what you are getting. You are getting the nice movement here. And what else we can give? We can go for maybe 12 by 12 by 12. So what you get something like this. See there. I want some kind of wavy animation. I can go with the fraction like this. You can see. we're getting some wave kind of output here. Or if you go to trigonometry, you will be getting this high. So I want to reduce the effect, so I'll be going like this. You can see that there's also some kind of wave, but it is a little bit different than the other one. So you are getting this kind of output again here. So that's one of the method which you can say we can have more steps. It will give you faster movement here. If you have it less, you will be getting more like the wave thing. You can have step 1, so you're getting something like this. Yeah, you can see the complete thing is moving a little bit more like this. Okay, so that's amount here. And what else you can do? You can play around multiple properties actually. So let me increase this thing. Noise is not present there, so no need to work on the noise right now. So okay, that's the one method. I'll just save this file. I'll show something else again next. So let's save this file, and maybe you can save it here. Mesh underscore, we can call it signal. So signal is here, and let's say save new file. Guys, just hold on, I will come in a minute. I'm getting a call. So okay, this was the first thing we have done. Now let's again take the same example of maybe some other different example of same example of a cube. Maybe we can have just a small plane here. So let's reduce the plane segments to 1, and I might putting some colors also in this. So let's simple numbered color. So here it is. Let's say for example maybe something in little bit less sharper. So we have this object. Let's again go back to mesh and create something here, and let's click on that. And what do we get? We get again the multiple objects in the distribution method. So how you want them? Let's say for example I want them to be in this method, not in the linear obviously. I want them to be in the kind of grid here. So grid is here. Definitely we can have something like this over here. So you can add a little bit amount of rotate also in this. You want, let's say for example rotation value should be with the other properties. Let's say what else I want it to be. Rotation, we have radial, we have grid. Okay, one thing is very nice that we'll discuss. Mesh means you can connect all of them to the mesh area, so it will automatically go there. So let's see how it works if you put as a mesh. So first thing right now we'll see moving them on the path. So I have this path. So let's say path is right now here. So I want this to move on this path. So just click the mesh, and you can add something called curve. So when you add a curve, and you need to tell which curve you want it, so it accepts all these kind of curves. So what I'll do is I will go and open my outliner, and in the outliner I will click on the curve, and I will just drag and drop here. So now it knows that this curve has to be followed. So once you play this up, you will be getting this animation here. So I can see it is just repeating itself multiple times. So what you can do, you can simply reduce or increase the animation speed, and you can tell it to do only you want it to stop at the curve end. So you can do that also. You can increase the speed or the speed like this, so it will reach like this. So that's that, but that looks pretty boring. So what you can do, you can add some more thing, that the one we added earlier is called signaling. So you can have the signaling and it will follow like this, so they will go like this. Okay, you can also animate the amount of signal strength. So what happened, it will go down, go zero. So you can have the amount initially and then you can keep it zero. So once they reach to the curve and they should not move. So that's also one of the thing. So this is the one thing you can do. Another thing which you can do, this is the use of curve. So you can add multiple effects over here, and all the effects will work together, combine actually. So you can combine, you can see I have combined curve and signal and distribute, all three together. You don't want multiple things, you can go for the distribute and it will give you the off. So now the distribute is not working right now, right? You can make it on as long as you want it. So you can again choose to keep it one only. So that's just one object is moving. So you can see, so there are many ways you can do the variety. So hope it helps to understand the whole thing like this. So that's a method you can use for the mesh and curve and signal. So hope you understand this particular method, particular attribute also. So I'll save this file again. Save scene as LCMS, not signal, is called curve. So I'm saving the curve right now. Curve. So save here. Next one, which I wanted to go to some particular object. So what I'll do is I will just I can save it, new scene, and I will create a big object like this, and I will be having small balls also, right, like this. I can keep them low polish because I'm going to make them a lot of them, so I'll be reducing the size like this. Okay. So that's so what we have. We can reduce this also. Okay, so what happens now, once I click on the mesh option here, this option gives me the multiple copies of this, and as you know what we have something called distribute. And the distribute, I can increase number of copies as much as I want, and you can go to mesh and you can connect that this particular mesh here. So I can click on the bigger sphere, in fact sphere 1, because that's the one we created first earlier. I can rename as a target also, it also will work. So I'll rename as a target. Okay, so that's the one. So I can click again the mesh distribute, and in the distribute what we can do is we can connect the mesh with that. So mesh, I'll just click on the target and middle button, click and drag it here. So as you can see, as soon as I clicked, they all are moving to this place. But since the number of small spheres are less and this having multiple vertices, what you can do, you can tell it to flood the mesh. So what I'll do is I can change my method. I will say face center. So once I say on the face center, I will be getting this flood mesh option activated. It will be ready to activate. So you can see it has flooded the entire object from the small object. So or else you can do, what you can do, you can simply add number of points. You can see like this. So what is happening, it is creating multiple points. I can have maybe 150 also, or maybe 110, right, or maybe 130 something. Still we have a couple of things to go, maybe 150. some more we can go. I think 160. No, 160 we do not know. We want 170. Yes. So we can have this something like this. What you can do, you can animate this also. First you hide the main object that is here. So I will be hiding this object like this, and I go to the distribute property, and what I go and do is I can go to my number of points here and I will animate them. So I'll go to first one. I'll reduce it to 0 points are here, 1 point minimum, set key, and I can take around 35 frames to reach to the old number, that is 170. So I'll say click on this and set key. So that's how we see that. Now check it. So as you see, we are seeing the formation thing happening. Again, you can have more dense object if you keep more vertex or more I'll say more faces on the new one. So I'll go to the polysphere. I can increase the number of segments also. So once you increase the number of segments, what you can do is we can see the 170 points which we created are getting less for all these vertex. So what we'll do is we need to go to 35 frames and I need to increase number of copies here. So I'll go and increase the copies. Where we have the copy, go to distribute, and we have these copies. Maybe we need double of that, approximately 350. So you can see still we need more, maybe 400 is here. Yeah. So I can again say set key. So what happened now, you see them moving all around the object. So I'll just hide this again here. So you see the formation thing happening. I can again put a different kind of color so that it looks a little bit different. So material attributes, I can give any color to that. So this is how it is done. So if you see it slowly, it will be keep forming the whole thing. So that's how they are created. So as you can use this method of the mesh here to give multiple copies. As you can see, as soon as I have given the input mesh name here, input object here, it automatically converted to the mesh. I have not changed it. Initially it was the linear, so I haven't changed it to the mesh. It automatically goes as soon as you keep this one. You can choose which one method you want. You can keep it on the vertex also, but the vertex are less, so it will not be flooding automatically. So this is how you can work on the vertex. You can go for the scatter also. Scatter means randomly putting together, so you can give them here like this, so it will scatter, and if you don't want some uniform output, you can do that scattering. So we can go again to same frame, and you can keep them a little bit higher also, like 1000, and key selected, so it will be filling up like this. So again, depending on the need, you can work on them. So hope guys, you guys have understood what is the meaning of clicking on the mesh and putting the object as a target. So that's the one. I will be saving it again, save scene, and that will be called, we call it mesh distribute to mesh, actually distribute to mesh, correct. So that's the one thing. And next thing what is I'm going to tell you is, let me save this first. This is something called attract. I can attract object with the help of small objects. What I can do is I can simply click on small object like this, and what I want only the base of that. So what I'll do is I will be going to the something like this maybe, and I do not want any of the face like this. So delete this guy here, and I'll putting the same color again. So delete by type history. Let me check whether we are recording properly or not. Center pivot. So yes, it's called recording. So next one which I'm telling you is I can create a small output here. Let me create this what do you call this using this object. So 90° here, and what I want them to be less, maybe less of the segments. Okay, so delete all these guys here. Again, center pivot. And my object is, I believe, is very small. I need to make it bigger, something like this. So click all the edges. I want them to extrude. I want to keep face together off, and I can keep it like this. I can move them slightly different way like this, and I can have some of the divisions. Or else you can have no division and you can have it less like this. Again, I will add some more, and I can keep changing the direction. You can add one more. And one last more. So we have this object, and what I can do is I can add multiple points here again. So I have to do it manually because I do not have multiple option here. Sorry, this here, or else I can leave it like this only because I do not want multiple places here. So what I want is, I think undo is happening. Yes. Okay, so that's all we have right now. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to click here and let me delete the history again. So delete by type history, and we just click what we want. We want it to work with a different way. I have multiple copies, as you can see here, and I want to add something called the name over here is let me check it here. What do we have? We have curve, audio, influence, merge. We have merge. Actually, merge is very useful one. So I want to add the merge, and how the merge will work. Merge will be merging the object once you. I want the child node. Child node means it. I need to tell it to where it should be going. It should be means where these should be going. So I'll be telling this is again my target. So I can rename it as a target, and let me again go back to mesh and merge, and I want this to drag. So I'll be opening my outliner and I will drag the target and drag it like this. So here it will wait for the merge. What it does, it's not taking this. Again I'll try it. Okay, I got it. It need to have some kind of mesh on that, then only it will work. Right now it's just an object. So what I can do is I can take this object as a target for the mesh here. I need to add some effect, then only I can use the merge option, because over here in this one it takes only the mesh kind of object. So if I click on the mesh right now as a cylinder, or this target, actually it's not taking this, you can see. Yes, I got it. Yes, okay. So as soon as I click on the target, it will take it. So what it does, I can go to my distribute here as well as the merge, and what it does, it has a strength value as well as it's not connected. What happening? Okay, it has worked on the distribute channel. Distribute means distribute kind of mesh. So what it does, it will automatically go back to the properties, and the same way that we did it last time, face center, and you can have flat. So what you are getting an object which is full like this. So that's again one of the use for the distribute, but I do not want this method right now. What I'll do is I'll click on this, and I will be removing the model here. I'll say break connection, and I'll change to the linear one. So I have again the linear, but I have my objects. I'll switch on this object here, and like this also. This is my target again. Cylinder is here. So okay, switch off this. So what I need to do some effect for this. So what I want this to, once they go to the close to like something like this, they should be sticking to this object by the animation. So for that this need to be a mesh. So I need to create on the mesh, means it need to be applied on the mesh effect. So what I can do is I can create again a path over here. You can create a path here to go, and let me just keep it the center. So this has to go to the 0 and 0, and I think everything is okay now. So I have this curve. I want to give it a path, so I'll go there, and I want to give it as a path. So I have a curve, so I can just drag and drop a curve here. So click on the curve object and click like this. So what happens, it will animate towards that. Okay, right, I want more speed, I can have more speed, so it will be faster. What happens? Weird, something is okay, no problem. I'll be clicking it on. Okay, let's close Maya right now because something need to be taken care. So I'll change from signal to what we call, the name is called merge. So merge is here, so I'll save it here, and I'll open the Maya again. What I can do, I can delete the node. I can, if it's not coming, I can delete the folder in my document here. So I can close this guy here. So today we are doing this. In the next class I will be discussing some more options with the mesh and dynamics collectively. So it's not coming yet. I can change it to standard. Yes, we get it here. Okay, I'll open the file again. So merge. Okay, so what I want, I can open my attribute here. So I have the distribute here. So I wanted to move with that expert classic standard. What about animation? Okay, so I'll click about the mesh here. So we have the distribute. So click on the mesh here. So what we got to do, once we click on the animation, smooth, this guy is moving here. I can have multiple copies also. Multiple copies, like you can work on the distribute here. You can have the linear. I can have the grid also. Maybe you can have the grid, and the grid, what you can do, you can increase the points like this. So you can have 4 by 4 by 4 here. So they all will go like this. So what I want now, you see this has a target, it has become a mesh here. So we need to do something. Okay, so let's try this again, the mesh thing, the merge actually. So in the merge, it need a child node here. It accept the mesh object here. So can we try this again? Target to put here. So it need a mesh because this need to be created to the mesh. So what I can do is I can also create it as a mesh. So click it like this here, and now you can see that has become a mesh 2. But in this one, I do not want anything. I want only one object. So I'll say keep it only one. So what happened now? Now, if I try to keep merge on this, so let's go back to the cylinder. I'm sorry, to the mesh. Mesh 2 is the cylinder to this particular object. So mesh 2 is going like this, and yes, here we go. It's connected now. So once you go to the target that is connected here, mesh 2, and what it does, it will automatically move it towards that point. So what I want is one second. Yes, that's it. So again, I will go back. I don't want this mesh to be created. Let's delete this mesh. Maybe undo it here. So we have no mesh here. It's just the target, and I will be clicking on the distribute. I'll be taking as a mesh here, and this mesh I will be selecting as a target like this. That's the one we did earlier. So what is happening right now, both things are activated. The mesh is also working, and merge is also working, and distribute is also working. So let's see what is happening. It is all going towards that, and let's see how the mesh the merge work here. So I'll say click on the merge, and the merge section, the strength is here, and parent is here. Now I have to click on the child node. So I'll click on the child node here. Okay. think I need to reduce this to, I'll say stop at end. So let's see that like this, and what we get as a distribute here, and the distribute face center is okay and it's flooding overall. That's correct. And if I want to reduce the effect, I can go back to like this. Yes, okay, this is what we wanted. So I can keep distance 0 from first frame. From first frame, I'll say strength is 0, key selected, and what I want is once again. Let's say break connection. This is what is happening right now. What about the distribute property here? Distribute, we have it here. So what it does, once we keep moving it from this place, let's say play this, just moving, once it reaches this place, let's say 45 frames, we can keep this key like this here and keep the key like this. So as soon as it comes after 45 frames, till 55 frames, you can keep it full. So, and same time you can keep this lower, but you can keep the curve thing lower. So curve is here, where is the curve animation? Curve animation is speed is here, and path is here. So what I want the same time, like in 55 frames, I want them to be speed to be 0, something like that. This is what we wanted. So set key 45 frames, I want the speed to be full, and again set key. So what is happening now, you can see that. So I do not want any speed here after the 55 frames. I don't want any movement here. So I want the speed to be 0 actually. So I'll say speed is equal to 0, but 0 won't work here. So maybe 0.95. Again, key selected, and that is, I don't want it to end here. I want it to end over here. So this is also I need to animate. Clip end, and 45 frames. Clip can go like this. So we get something like this. Let's play this around. So this is what we get by playing up. Now we can hide this guy here like this. So let's see the effect now. So hope you guys understood what we just spoke about. So this the whole thing about today is the introduction of mesh. In the next class we will be doing, as I spoke earlier, we will be doing mesh as well with the dynamics and particles. So thank you guys for now.